Okay, we are continuing our Algebra 2 journey together. Today we are talking about how we are going to be able to find inverses, and we are going to do that from a table, from a graph, and from a function. So first of all, how do you find an inverse? You swap your x's and your y's. And then just some important notation is that if you have f of x, the inverse is f to the negative 1 of x. That notation means inverse. So whatever your original function is, like even if it was g of x, if you say g to the negative 1 of x, that means the inverse. So if I have a table with my x's and my y's, to find the inverse, I'm just going to take each of these xy pairs and swap them. So instead of 5, 6, I will have 6, 5. Instead of 3, 2, I will have 2, 3. Instead of 1, negative 2, I will have negative 2, 1. And instead of negative 1, negative 6, I will have negative 6, negative 1. And then if you are given a graph, similarly, what you want to do is find a couple of xy pairs that are on said graph. Like, let's look here. This is the point 2, 5. So switching that would be 5, 2. What else do we have? Here I've got 3, 9. So I'm going to swap that to 9, 3. Looking down at some negatives, I've got 0, negative 3. So I'm going to switch that to negative 3, 0. Sorry, 0, negative 3. Yeah. What else do we have? Negative 1, negative 7. I'm going to switch that to negative 7, negative 1. But here I have enough points that I could just take a straight line and connect my dots. So I'm going to connect those dots. And there is the graph of my inverse, and it will continue to go on just like the original did. And something you might see here in this graph, that dashed line, that is the equation y equals x, our linear parent function. So another way to visualize what you're doing when you're doing inverse graphically is you are reflecting your function across that line, y equals x. So when you see this on your homework tonight, you will also see that dashed line. Okay, the last way we are going to find an inverse is from the function itself, and we are going to practice that twice. So if this is my original function, remember that notation to the negative 1 power means find the inverse. So I'm going to take my original function and I'm going to change it from function notation back to y equals. So y equals 3x plus 5. That is my equation. Now I'm going to swap where x and y are in the equation and use our algebra skills and order of operations to rewrite this until y is by itself again. So I would just subtract 5 on both sides first. Then I'm going to divide everything by 3. So now I have that y equals x minus 5 over 3. And this is going to be my inverse. So g to the negative 1 of x is x minus 5 over 3. Let's do that one more time just because that's something a little different. This one I've got h of x, so if I want to find its inverse, h to the negative 1, first I'm going to rewrite this back as a function. And I'm going to swap x and y. So x is equal to 2 times y plus 2. And I'm going to do some rearranging until x is alone, or excuse me, until y is alone again. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 first. So x over 2 is equal to y plus 2. Then I want to subtract that 2. And now y is alone again. So here is my inverse. H to the negative 1 of x is x over 2 minus 2. And that wraps up how to find inverses. Next time we are going to talk about how to verify if two functions are inverses of each other or not.